ourselves in. Maybe not bribery. Maybe or just them on can maybe a juma now more going through no we do also munji. There are many institutions. One code of ethics include not receiving anything in the name of motivation. And your offices running in or CCTV or monitor all through. For anything that you receive, you will be dealt with. I believe that Electoral Commission so needs a code they should immediately introduce it for their staffs at the headquarters up to the last point. Very important. Because motivation now will come could result into something else. It's even like election day. If you cry election day, now Electoral Commission they don't take care of their staff not very well. Now political party be by now, then they get there, then they want to give to it's dangerous. It must not be allowed. The Electoral Commission should be able to take care of their staff's need, including election day logistics, feeding, water, everything, one movement. Omunika or the electoral material because anti-party be car no there almost ballot papers with EC officials. All that must not happen. My yenyama obe put doubt and create some kind of credibility crisis for such a vital institutions. And it's no I believe strongly whether it was bribery or not, the people deserve some kind of administrative punishment, even if they are able to seal off the criminal process of taking bribe. Still, administratively, they have to suffer some kind of punishment for bringing the name of the Electoral Commission to the low level that has caused it this week. Well, it's been bad news for them. It's been very bad news for them, and at a very, it has come at the wrong time. It has come at the wrong time. But it's good that we see as a learning process, so that as we moved in to the final process of these elections, are very critical. Many more of such situations coming up.
How about suits now?
As for suits, we are practicing constitutional democracy. We feel that obiya will be one fa mrakwan so baby I would be calling your courts. So the parties now called through the process. I won't feel the due process. I'm told some of them had petitioned the Electoral Commission to see whether Ubutuma review one decision.
NDP is 24 hours
to take the actions that they have to take, and failing which they will go to court. It's up to the court to make pronouncements. It's like the CI 75, 78, and the creation of the new constituencies and now the review of the constituency boundaries. Electoral Commission 4 years. Ebinuma taseno. Omu ye kan ho asem wo radio so ye hu debate ye kan ho asem wo rally so and all that. Enkosi aga no ebinum so call court. The court have made pronouncement, and those who were speaking against it and doing all the arguments, they have fallen for it. Parties are working now. They have filed candidates. I don't think the MPP did not file candidates in the 45 new constituencies. So that is it. The courts have spoken. So say Obia fell down in now. You feel the Electoral Commission and near order and where it is the courts that can make such pronouncement and directive at this stage, because who petition obviously we have nothing. They are also explaining that made for filing. We announced from 5th of October to somewhere about 15th for collection of forms, and 17th and 18th or so for filing. And that almost a further announcement that they were not going to extend the period of filing to give anybody any grace period. Now, CI 75 also indicated clearly that what the forms, Banner said there are mistakes in it. The commission has no right to disqualify you when you submit your forms and there are mistakes. What they will do is to ask you to go and correct those mistakes. Now, so corrections now, or they will submit within the period set for nomination. Now, what's the bar? because udi kan de ba ya mistakes omuhu mistakes binimti nia wo de beba no they may not consider it immediately as correct. They have about 7 days within which to review your documents and make a pronouncement, so more time. But thank God that since you are biometric registration, so it's easy to cross-check data, no? And so it enables them to either check or not be able to check. Whether the parties now work or court, like IPP, NDP, work or court, no, they met those conditions, and I will not be able to answer here. But I'm happy that yet stage when parties feel done in, no, the way to go is to go to court. Now, say court normal pronouncement. The Electoral Commission have no cause but to obey the directives of the court. And I think I'm all out for it.
Very well. Lawyer, my mean to you is our issues are quickly now. You know, and
So you now summarize the questions.
Me summarize the question. Question there.
So questions will be signed in 2 forms. First of all, starting with the.
Oh, maybe if you want over comment on working inside.
I don't know which question. So summarize.
The question maybe say recent times Electoral Commission matters about alleged bribery issues, profiting cancer, Electoral Commission IPPC in the no. Maybe say over time women say ma is in a credibility crisis now.
Yo kaba mechia with your phone na masinchia minia o NDC na onso we host kaba
lawyer
easy mompa de ejuma moye no problem on kaba onzo nipa bitumi ye papa na wakoye boni na obia ka se na man we anade bia o chen kwala tofi oni obia ye fine enkwala no so people meni ase no se na oni nkwala na da sa no tie Dr. Afrejan you're the head because they say now they say and it's in the profess. There's something going on in EC. I'm into me farming since so.
Really?
Now, it have me too much. It have me pama. If it me say, oh, now into EC, o me to me share a battle so na. And I yan compare EU. Yan compare microphone be share so mine. Because I say Dr. Fejan no call for share obedience.
EU for normal say
and they have no.
The Democrats now call
say and no dear EU or me mistake. Problem be sikroma. Inti moi EU for money or me now for ebi omo ntichi no. Mon ko catch omo obrofo mu say sa election dey omo be supervise.
We are far.
Omo be supervise.
Almost dey small group.
Send a fair jam to me call baby eco supervise no. Sana ebi mo so mraha from Africa or from Europe or from America, on this supervise.
But I should say EU for Beba.
I was say EU for so can EU for can and I'm a kind of. We are saying move on in Omrambe good Ashanti region, Ombe good Volta region. Because Kaba, the elbow bobano. Yes, say, sebi, Okwasia, no train, ma adihuno ebesi.
Not an Ashanti boy.
Oh, those are the main. I mean, Kaba, let us be frank in this country. Kakra na mu media mo ka ho ensem na boba mo de mo pa na say e ba newspaper no ma na ma review
I said
catch o mo say o mo ye research
any paper bi am sisia kasa
e ba people wonder inti o de because media one story frightened me at the time I'm kind one Nigerian newspaper article on the internet
about Ghana
about Dr. Frejan. Me can't say the kaba me. Well,
but there's no truth in it, so don't.
Oh, it's not about there's no truth.
Don't go further.
No, it's not about there's no truth.
So don't repeat.
There's a big suspicion.
And that's credible.
I know Kofi is not feeling comfortable with it.
A credible story.
Well, Ghanaians should listen. One Dr. Kola Adebola. He exists.
Who is he?
He's a member of Nigeria INEC. That's the National Electoral Commission Nigeria.
Independent Electoral Commission Nigeria.
Inti okaho. Someone say on the internet, Dr. Frejan, to me enye suit to say Mr. Kudu to black quiet. Or say Dr. Frejan say because of advice I could fear mamino. I don't agree, but I'll just give him respect not to go there. But there have been various detailed allegations against Dr. Frejan in that article. Detailed. And just only one example. That ono President Mills and Adam for power, type of Srano when he no no I Nkrumah is into a person who call bois ma ono only government samba back to power. Among other very distasteful and scary things. Into easy no, say no, I bet to say, do something before you die.
Nah.
Last minute easy. Me who near Kosovo, honestly. Yatikras, if it is so bad, say, allegation by ebi mu say, oh, nankrofobia or you get rid of omo because ebi mu person mo ye kanana. Enu so fi. Na ebi mu saba, oh, na omo a ye kan we no, omo ye we. Just say abeye basa. Afrejan, when I supervise this we say, wow, would your easy circles no? Ebi mu person mo get rid of ebi mu because you see way per way and you see way mu dey mo ye we. Now, ye Shy Hills, head of ICT. Wow, kind the story. But what call I could trainee is NDC on biometric. One farmer MPP, one farmer CPP, PNC, CPP, PPP,
but only say, allegation, yeah, say na na oka internet say, near attitude ni na, sans me na. Adena elections be a ba. We raise it. When I make us more, I'm referring to political parties in activism. Sans me na basa because I mean, 2008, Brana more power no. And this is for raise issues about the easy. Say. And I'm also more raise issues about it easy. Say them pa.
Me the minimum. But me the minimum is easy no. Near many be more yen and reasonable. First of all, when you say Kenya, election year won't mean creating new constituencies. And here now which answer. Yes, but
you don't have that such a law.
No, but so when you have the discretion to see, say, nieti asadi no countries being here because a bit to me the same, a bit to me the uncertainty, a bit to me the problem abano. So what they also by
na say we been
yes, Ropa more apply law. All Ghanaians with passports can register abroad. Meboa. First of all, Moko announce it, and country political parties. Moko so I say only students with scholarship. Wokaba say maybe about scholarship. Now Wokaba we with Juma Kama Ghana. But Esan say one so obeying here scholarship is with you and the school fees. Kojo ni kofi. Omuni na wa monone omoko school. Kojo de on the obeto aba. Esan say on the or government connection we scholarship in on the obeto aba. Na wo ba ebia na ono support any party but we dey we tria ni sika kwa abroche no ono dey on to aba we okohwe we ehene ye ade we man ye fe so easy to me here na proxy you say will it show verification na one you say list transfer will they need verification one you say list easy aden na say verification ehun ya aden here aden na was obi to me to about with list. Nandi pakro what to about the da obey because any machine is not to about verification here machine and you be say what about twice. Now so the list every 2 seconds about now your man the paper now or the paper no 2 man you be dey who say we vote twice when you now you can not play John Ghana for could din min tiasie kaba min tiasie e mani nye yi itinye say e koso Ghana ha o say to me bisa is aden boni ben what is
the fear?
I don't know what is wrong.
Verification,
I was here, must say biometric. Now easy. And the government on one side. Must say verification, here, ne boy ding. We ya Ghana force we no go sit down, meet and cheat us every day. And a verification baso. Verification is about mo person mo fa kana na kwan so I feel the model list beto about verification here. na we hwan na be gye aba we atom nti na me se abrofo no mo mra enye se efe na we na ba na mo play bisia se mo be fa abrofo nko akọ
the African is no longer capable of
managing. Me ka ye na me se you so nye den omumra omumbe gu krom ha no mu wo police station ho se na ya ye be budam botwe se on free ho a obroni gina ho no de camera a film it na obi enso ehunu se we de oye ne de enye eye boni den na ekoso krom ha inti kaba. To be honest, me mom there. Me asem when you now look, even the court cases bibia isi me mbo mudinda. But bibia ebobokono. Ama ye no we cry the doves in the MPP. Bibi say the anka we won't want to say it in the open. We are getting worried because kaba same way a blow sana. What are we talking about? In simple. In the people of Jan, ono the unkobeba, what be sure the public. What can say because of verification, proxy, you cannot vote because after all, kaba. If you are not here in the time of the vote of the registration, do they allow you to go and register? So if you are not here at the time of the voting, why should you allow you to vote? Verification is to stop something. Why are we creating alternative to create confusion? Yes, say Kruma.
Sani me you na muntimi nko IPAC mfa ntuja na.
IPAC.
You
now
you come on
me pese my description be ba me bo bi edin wo go carry na obi si ho na ono ori na ade na o kakra on hwenim na then obe
obi hwan
oh na so obi ti ho ori ne jot o kan no hwe na
muko meeting man sani pa no meeting not mo
enye nipa ade bi si nipa
obi ti ho meeting na
ebinimo
afi de wasa
ye kan
meeting na no meeting man nipa ti
ho say politics so sometimes I will say oh yeah niamana na relax kakra but what I'm saying is say oh fi obia o calm stubborn o can I do it take it to court na say why would you mama my example
then now the baby
why a biometric register
move on
okay biometric register no enye ready about aba baby old register no ye di mra e parliament abe replace wo say can ke me akoye by election
but so no nim say emra no eti mo court ni bua so
then I make say intino discretion in ye juma Dr. Freja won't me who say won't to me for old raining ye now the year basayo beba because a lot of people are now 18 they are qualified to vote because of you your mistake the register is not ready and one is over because register then you're ready you know you per se exception in this case will be able to say the a baby sa want to me use some discretion but Baba say easy use some discretion in nothing I want person maybe be able to be and no na Kofi can say we form no feeling ya we and say go you are disqualified oh please you have only 1 hour so fill it quickly and bring it so that we can help you and I know sana easy when you want no who share TV send a NDP for form no share
NDP
who ye
na so no mo to mika o ko ha no edi mika no
me say who send a form
I ask one year kwani
and also the different case e be kan wan say because me dem fit san ka Josiah Ankasa any obi na also represent this for
thank you me say me maka say nko man panifo na kasa ko ebi kura nko mo nim fere e kura no ke be ka so nko mra anyway but
CI 75 no
very clear who should present
it's either the presidential candidate and another name and nipa o propose ana o second day enti entumi mfa mo obi akeke de on fa nko maybe one of what they call you know where the proposals and then maybe we have
and I like the way Kofi said maybe because maybe by now fa maybe in ejuma so people from and our proposal in penifoni di echi now they who just I any serious big boy lawyer say Dr.
Anka Dr. Bia any very kakra ko be ka say na na ko felebra but say mebre
and ananko
no ba check ko
we na make am chairman
anyway
lawyer
because number o mi so Kofi
e kran ni be ka say ehi achi ni modu
me share the concerns of Mike but nanso ye wo Ghana in terms of an electoral process say every political party we are very serious about doing your things right. Dr. Farijan, nkrama ono de be bia wo kana asem also anya we dwuma yie wo polling station ho na wo declare results no wo ho pe
he will announce it
and then they compile and it gets to him he will announce it and wo we dwuma yo a koko ye dwuma no wo polling station ho na making sure that say anything what for returning officer they published the returning officer obia wo concerns against the returning officer you make your submission there who feel there South Misia or Mafano onye qualified to be a returning officer as a result of A, B, C, D.
COVID time you want to know, I've agreed with you 100% police station. But imagine this. Police station and son of a jam the results no. Verification. Nani pa be 40. Omunyinaba list.
Okan proxy ni one.
Make proxy and transfer and all those things are. And I remember, at the police station there will be the confusion. And all I'm saying is to stop that confusion, the computer self verification. Into wow be to aba any verification no. And this amount to sabano. And your list because Mike, list there I know I need to make this point. Me ban of your verification machine in himself me my once into me call me bia machine be now me your verification wa here now me call next place now me call list ne there you taking me dino ni a tip paper ma me say me go to aba so the machine has not verified me say my bet 2 once before or not.
Okay, I get your point.
So the confusion will be at the police station
in 2 minutes because
electoral laws no the number of proxies are nipa my exercise. Yeah. There's a limit.
How will you know that? Say
two. And
listen to that defense station.
Mike. Electoral Commission sheda already. I think that time is already passed.
In the verification,
Obi Biara only me there. Eda yebeto abano on the 7th of December. Only ho onfa the proxy enfamra through writing. So the political parties at the constituency levels, will be fed with that information. By this and the Omunsankai. But the Electoral Commission information, they will feed them with that information. And the who agent no call the police station on him the number of proxies. The party leadership at that level, Omu would have checked to find out that Mike na all the proxy ama kaba there. Saadanu oniho. We have cross-checked and realized that indeed Mike registered only once.
Who cross-checked?
Of course, the EC will do the checking.
No,
the EC will do the checking.
Proxy man the
EC will do
verification. Yes.
There are processes. There are polling stations there. Who are executives? They cross-check and they have the information.
Anyway, I'm sure the issues are with the EC too.
We cannot, Mayenka, we cannot have 100% perfect elections.
But verification can verify.
Look, Amaya, to about many years. Today, even the Americans. In 2000, what happened in Florida?
I'll go.
What happened in Florida?
So Europe.
We cannot always.
Yeah, London. Yeah, Germany.
Anyway, Center for Democracy and accuracy.
Let's strive to improve the
very
process.
well. I'm saying our comments. We will all help to improve the system. But the Center for Democracy and Accuracy and former President Jerry Rawlings and some of the two about the media, about the judiciary, about politicians and Sembebre. Ubie nyane dienra. Na uti faud ye film me de ma family dada me de me simi nyi obi esika politician nim se ma din sika o meka mamtie me de me nyi obi esika me mo obi aso di mbone me
obi ameka
oh obeka
because of the mouth for objective me beka
say go tie former President Jerry Rawlings.
Originally designed for. They've well exceeded, the number of personnel. And as Accra has grown and expanded this way and northwards, 37 military hospital has become one of the prime areas that patients and the public have to attend. Ladies and gentlemen, across the 37 military hospital, is an old government land. Huge land that used to have what you call them, government flats. Airport flats, or whatever they used to call them. Switchback. A lot of these flats have been broken down and they're getting ready to build their fancy flats again with the terraconas, that Italian contractor who ran away not too long ago on the Wyoming case. I don't know whether he's back. In collaboration with some of our people, with a state institution, pretty much like the deals he had with, what's his name, Kufuor and his family to build those structures. So this time, I guess, it's NDC's time plus some of our people. Ladies and gentlemen, the military hospital needs an extension to be able to take care of the numerous medical cases. And I don't think any other place would be better than just reaching across that street, a government plot, taking over and redeveloping it to serve a medical purpose. I thank you, and I hope you're listening. There's something else in the NPP time, was there a certain officer who was known for not touching any of the plots, any of the lands, like Kufuor and his people were doing? Who? Oh. Oh. Is that so? Is that so? Ah. If this is true, this competition is going to be a stiff one. I hope when I'm talking this way to be as fair as possible, some won't think that I am so-and-so and so-and-so. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not even talking, in favor of the most noble woman here and her party that they are attempting to disqualify. Let's give her a big hand now. Oh, I want to assure her that even if it doesn't work this time, her party has the ingredients, the qualities, the integrity that others will come back to. What the others don't have. And that's why, for me, I see this party as the party of the future. That is not to say that you should give up. This woman never gives up. No. A lot of them in the NDC know the role she played. During the PNDC era, without the work she had put in place, the foundation and the women, there wouldn't have been an NDC. And that's why the women were the backbone of our NDC party. I will come back to this another time. Ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, we also have to remove the ambiguity that pertains within our legal framework as far as award and procurements by governments are concerned. I see no reason why, if judgment debts have to be paid, those directly responsible for incurring said debts are walking free. We live in a global world, which means we have to adapt current practices with respect to the combat of white-collar fraud. A few days ago in court in Italy, a few days ago a court in Italy convicted 6 scientists who erroneously informed the people of Italy that an earth tremor was not going to manifest into an earthquake. These unsuspecting scientists never envisaged that an act of indiscretion would lead to conviction for manslaughter. Here in Ghana, we even grapple with what charges to prefer against people who have gone on air to incite violence. Why are you silent? Ladies and gentlemen, let's now move to the legal and the judicial.
There were a lot of issues President Rawlings Ediun Komo. Later, an area on Asempa tuning will bring you some other excerpts when you're bre into her. Ose, and then Thursday, but Kofi, Mamisha Sinfuso, a lot of issues President Rawlings raised, and from a no Kofa Minum Din Komo, everybody was happy with President Rawlings. And some no kind of issues. I say, "Obi any but if you are old one no can na ya sold one but from a near map on my penny Rawlings to do to Jan, my pen that Rawlings to do to Jano. Send a Ghana for fan because media for your idea, I saw for your own judiciary in your own politicians in your own. You're funny saying.
I think the conclusion of his speech, to me, was the best point, where he was challenging as Ghanaians. There's na young comfort and conveniences and decide not to pay a bribe for 1 day for a service, and let's carry it on for a certain period. Na who the effect we should treat corruption as a serious matter, so that we can aberrate it and then be able to deal with it. But say, yemma corruption, yes, party atadie, there is no way we can fight it. Say corruption, yemma corruption, yes, corruption party atadie, into min kuntia katashishene proyeda. Because say, miko yebi, now what the me kwa, my party, all I need to do is to turn it partisan. Now, my party, my sorry. Oh, it's because or you witch hunting, or you this, or you that, or you this. Say, or you about another person, so also, or you witch hunting, or you this, or you that. Now say, ye corruption, so there, adidi say, me kanwa sema, or best say me party, me kanwa sema so. That is where ubekaya abra no call who. Okay, bibi about spending between 30 to 40% of your time to fight internal
those who are digging
corruption.
the holes.
Those who are digging the holes. Honestly, and say or a linked presentation to be able to reduce corruption and reduce the perception of witch hunting. Also, Abra, especially at the government and political level, Abra we are in charge. Bombodi so there won't mark when a being kosu whilst you are fighting what had happened in the past, because who jemuna ebisu kosu when you leave and another person comes, no, so yeah, you better go back to the same song as what? Witch hunting. So you able to match your corruption. And Mankrofwenya, they believe like the way they see armed robbery, the way they see murder as a crime committed by, because who will be now obi koye bonibi like maybe committed murder. I'm covering up. You report to the appropriate agency. But say, if you have a catastrophe, na proyected, nipa ne de ba also sikano or the aba, enti yen cover up, and now yen party ye koka wansema obegu abai no minu asenti yenka, because corruption catastrophe na proyected no eba ya che ifri Adam and Eve na bresu enti ma yenka wansema. It will not help us fight it. So I was so happy about concluding part. Okay, the my yentina hon twene aban ana ohene bi ana osofo bi nkunye yinyina as Ghanaians, as a people, what is our contribution? But the aspect of the media yamahon some freedoms to be able to investigate and report on acts of corruption na obebuano almost to be influenced by third parties. Can we report news? Can we report issues of corruption without looking at the consideration of a third party? Can we reduce it? Can we be fair as a media? Can we have standards so that because of the way media fire in some people can easily conclude that because of the way we have gone about reporting our things, because how? Take it for example, Nkofobi published the President Mahama and the First Lady Omwafa 170 million
Swiss
bank and straight away you see that this is desperate fabrication to discredit a president, maybe because or a flag bearer. Next time, Bibi Kra Banas or Ukraine, there's no way I will believe it if it's coming from the same source, because I know you're credible. But what are they doing? Yen Kang Fanguho, Nayan Fantu, this Nayan linking it there. Oh, they have picked some people somewhere. IMF and World Bank or more investigating another head of state, another former head of state, non conform doing there Ukraine, because it could do something for us. Yes, sir. We shouldn't destroy patriots. We shouldn't destroy institutions that we seek to go and serve. Because who say now they will treat you the same way. They will treat you the same way. You go to the judiciary. How open are we? I know my example of Kenya. Earlier now, Mike Kabibi about Kenya and their electoral. It looks like the Kenyans have a lot to teach us. Their electoral process in terms of redemarcating constituencies, one judicial process also where they set up a board that vet the behavior of the judiciary. And the process of selecting Grofo to that board, or a bit independent, driven away from the president or the prime minister, even though one obey appointment, process is now muko through. By the time I obey through the stage for the president to appoint you in conjunction with the prime minister, now you have gone through some serious screening. Can we do same here? Do we have a way of checking our judiciary when they go wayward? When people there, and when you may even lose your certificate to practice. Those 3 lawyers, including the late Larry Bimi, when Omo tried there on this answer, but what happened to them? So there are very gray areas, very important areas that we need to look at. Politics, monetization of our politics, especially in strongholds. Odru party primaries now Obiako Sasika either there because nipa no contacts now we need more money or bribe delegates pay them, win the primaries. Winning the main elections one year lucky maybe independent candidate be or automatic or beko all the things that come to him not all the man financiers so with disregard to the constituency. Did we go or did we come, as people always ask? And the young politics, as much as possible, let's try and reduce the monetization. For politics. Ubeto Petro, Kofobeko round, Ubeye rallies, or there we are announcement. Those kind of expenditure, they are necessary and normal. But the situation where delegates are collected, they are camped and given fat envelopes and pieces of cloth and television sets and mobile phones and the rest to influence one voting must not be allowed. We encourage the constituency, Odru primaries are more kade or a party who has MP They should be interested in what the parties do in their primaries. When a particular candidate is bribing delegates because he feels that a stronghold, you must reject that person. So that some monetization could come down. And let's put institutions in place and be ready to allow the institutions also to function. Because Ghana Hanka, there were a lot of institutions. Yes, their functioning is influenced by the political authorities. We could sharpen them and improve on ways of doing things. But generally, the lecture them was good. It touched all areas that concerns and affects the country, and to be able to improve upon our democracy, corruption must be seen as a dangerous disease. To be able to develop, we must see corruption as one thing that affects development, because especially within Africa as a continent, is costing us billions of dollars. Billions. If we can work to reduce acts of corruption, I'm telling you that we will have a lot more to fund development programs and then agenda, sometimes without going to beg for some little peanuts. The number of trips Minister Beye to get just $10 million as loan or even grant. Loan, the number of trips you go and sign MOU, you come back, then you come and do what studies, then you go feasibility studies, then you go and sign something, then they say go to parliament for parliament to approve, then you meanwhile by just one person's signature is costing us more than that 10 million. So if we can work to reduce corruption on minor between point, and the best way to do it is to party atade if we but deal with
in a
individuals.
Very polarized society to say MPP waha NDC waha kabati we oye na adwuma okoka bi ne ya oye NDC ni oye MPP ni, such a polarized state kofi sa na yes, very noble, but practically say form hono be ye sir
Unima, how me so much in this day. I quite there. Yen younger ones on Ukraina, yes, I did no more. Penifa quaya won't pay no more pia, or the paper no more crowd, won't tell see now was what they call. And then Okoka, hollow discussions. Wotina go for bobo figures or cancer would be sandy pano question pay. Now I lose thought. Because on near all cano on shedan nim, obino the man there call na coca. Go far down one this, but we need to, as young people, move above that. Anytime the young people decide, especially the youth decide that Sadi Yada or say Yen Dachi, and Yen Ma in Sia in Puntu Beba. I have seen communities they were almost at near point of war. Now, so when the youth decided that no, me and Penifori ye. And they cross-fertilize, it ended. The same thing can happen in our fight against corruption. So the younger ones, whether who are MPPO, who are NDCO, who are there, scoring cheap political points on corruption. Now you there or ye dangerous bibia or how mine, and we want to fight it. We will talk about it, knowing that maybe an individual, not as an institution, and therefore will not label the party as this or as that. We are quite sure there, because that individual now or committee that crime,
my party no be jafa.
Party no be jafa. Ebi wo ho a nipa or kan wasem kra act of corruption has caused the life of your even relative bi kra. Nanso wa mo akoye no party nti o say hey yenkwe no mo call police for fasem na mo your investigation or your witch hunting or your this or your that. Why are they doing this commission? Why are they doing that commission? Man. Can we de-partisan corruption or a challenge to us, the younger ones? Thank God there, we are all youthful persons, and let's make a commitment.
I make a commitment.
Commitment. Say, Nancy, some of the persons in the media, not before the way I know Moka Kono were portrayed as belonging to Party A. One or two issues be by or Moka be binti. Also, they have been bought. They have been bought over. This type of labeling and tagging will not help. But today, in no lecture here, no man paying that role in Sequoia. Some of my people in the NDC, in Sembe no Mwanka, also or boa Nanado Momoye campaign is kind of or with more consent or MPP platform or this or that hollow arguments.
But I was happy saying Tracy antecedents of lectures, President Mahama then as Vice President alcohol.
Of course, these two people see it as a civil society group. Now, Winima Kaba, because of the way I hear in politics, say you civil society to grow, to be able to play a certain role. No, Ghana we will continue. I know
the more party they are the worst offenders.
Oh no, no.
It's talking down on civil society groups.
It's on both sides.
Imani for MPP for, IDEC for MPP for, CDD for MPP for. You see,
I don't know MPP for rightist parties and our center-right parties and our capitalist parties are good at establishing civil society groups. No. You give it to them. No, you give it to them. They know how to establish civil society groups. Now, social democrats usually don't. They rely on labor. Social democrats, rely on labor. They don't rely on. They don't easily take it. But we have to encourage them to begin to accept science institutions.
Mike, also me President Rawlings, me sure so when your time.
First one, Mr. Kofi said now Joy FM, social democrats no boycott multimedia no more think tank.
Oh no, na say no the even against it. It was part of the reason why some of us suffered for appearing on.
Oh, David, na say no, I know the different issue. The host. Matter.
And I heard
the whole multimedia.
Why? But there were reasons about continuous misreportage.
I must say, social democrats there, they more money. Now, I saw for some Presby, I saw for na moye
Presby, I saw for.
And I make us some think tank.
Presby,
and our social democrats, pay to for.
Presby, I saw for Ben.
And
Pedis.
Anthony, President Mama. Mami Kasa, now home betro kakra. Sana mutie. I saw for hey, a mao, a kaya, a highway. Where we hear Yama bebre, I Pesebeka. Shady Echo Sing for Francis Yam. Shady Kosi S Lasso recently. NDC talks. Now you can't win in area. Mona party. Oh, other than anyone changes. Catch this Mona party. Come to me promising a ma 40%. Oman yeah. Now ma be down say MPPIC.
Oh, na say
NDC social democrats. Did they not promise women 40% in terms of appointment?
The government will be now.
Think tank.
Women on board.
Yeah, President Rawlings. Who be here? So 10 minutes to do this.
Yeah, not that bad. You say kind a man here parliamentarians who are
not parliamentarians.
A man
here by election.
And I want to put them strategizing for being war.
Oh,
positive views can be.
Sponsor.
That allows for appointment. And they could see a very brigandish wow.
How can you?
And why?
How can you accuse a party in terms of electoral process?
Oh, who can say my dean? I can't we cry.
How can you?
Freedom, speech,
freedom lecture,
freedom and power,
or a power. Lectures, freedom power lectures for Center for Freedom and Accuracy.
Okay. Amen.
Center for Freedom and Accuracy. No more organizing freedom power lectures.
Freedom, power, lectures, Rawlings. I know the ultimate call straight. President Rawlings, but can send be brave. Now, me yeah.
It's the same.
say in some way you know can yechi some media and some platforms to say the honorable Major online it to me better on my headline say
who be attack my join online so they say na we complain there
say maybe on headline say Rollins says Mahama will win or
that's not what Major
online
Major online says I want NDC to win December post.
Good.
That's Rollins.
Good.
That's what we said.
Good. Now let's listen to what Rollins said. We are now you be born come all the other things are Rollins can
that's why
mutimi fa and no kan
obia timi choose angle
wo choose angle no
we journalism
sa no muko choose angle say yen esi ebesi 200,000 houses
a mistake ya correct
a mistake sa no musan ko kan say Rollins echo aplawo no oko kan say NDC will win. Emma, your friend say also Bempa Bekan say Fonka.
No.
Say it's not true. Rollins didn't say that. Sanya me na omon koso.
Rollins call ho no.
Me say omon koso
me na my own cancer Major line for onye. Rollins call ho no. In part no can say President Mahama can win.
They be a mo dey
part you win or say can win.
Yen kan your kan wa no. Or say I want to be properly understood that whenever I am saying to my people that why are you afraid of going to opposition? I'm not saying I want them to go into opposition. I want them to win. But if you were to lose and to go into opposition, can you enjoy any safety and security from the judiciary laws of the country, he asked. Now, Rollins has never said he wants NDC to lose. Never. Rollins has always said NDC, they don't deserve to win because of corruption, greedy bastards, this, that. But he has never said he wants them to lose. So after all these lectures, if the headline comes and says, I want NDC to win, what is so strange there, first of all?
Editorial discretion.
Editorial discretion, I'm on discretion here. Going on to some of the things that Rollins can. Rollins say corruption, will chrome her. Or say judiciary corruption, say judiciary corruption. Corruption will be bia or Ghana, police corruption, EC corruption. And what? Or say politicians corruption, a dozen. Recent examples, Awama, small evil dwarfs, wicked, in fact, evil dwarfs, our summer greedy bastards. One of various examples of corruption within the NDC. Our son can't wo you me asem. Wo you me asem a buying only obi ni contract. Utimi could tria 51 million mano. A dear
Abani said it was a mistake.
Yes.
Pursuing the money.
Abani no say it was a mistake. Or make sikano. Who is paying for the mistake?
But
almost say a judgment debt. And your judgment debt. And you can another debt. Because courts will say, let us stay the money pending the final judgment.
They ordered that something should.
No, he didn't order.
They ordered that 17 should be paid.
No.
They ordered that 17 should be paid.
No. 17 had been paid already. So the government, the judge said, the 17 has been paid already. Let him keep it on condition. If he loses, he'll bring the money back.
No.
Maybe.
No, Mike,
if he wins,
think the order was that on your undertaking that she cannot would your man no so lose her
or the scanner
that's 17 million.
So
the rest of the 34 million
there was an order.
But then you mean cry discussion.
No, you see, don't let's change it. I won't allow you.
Assembly or court.
I won't allow you. No,
Assembly or court.
Let's say you are giving that
matter.
impression. Let's say 34 now cano. Why is he in chairman? Now you have start talking. Answer the question to Ghanaians. Why they can't say go to 34 no man? It's your woman you just 34 man no. Can another debt and your judgment debt because no judgment was given for that money. If you can't say we are not 4%. Omodi sad part say go to you know ebe bata part na wrong no and part na wrong you double that other part. And no cry no the 17 million was paid due to the negligence of the Attorney General saying that they had no case. Or do we not know that? And your Attorney General na court or say you near same biaka interpret chase keni na and then later no because omo cancer internet see man 17 million. So either way, the government of NDC is guilty.
You are
Assassin with the Kofi Abemuni, the Memanaka. But I'll ask another question. But also, I'm doing what?
I'm saying that Assassin may go through the various
stages. Because Mama 10 minutes. And 10 minutes, you know, where time I was spending. No, he was editorial discussion. It's a so speaking discussion. Was it Tarakoni fine. Because but me see wo yo mesika no mo bia nka say judgment debt. E Canada debt. Reject debt. Data. Yes. The judge said they should pay. Mike, we have an issue on
Why
the table.
Why are you interrupting me and then telling me?
I'm not interrupting you, so but I'm only directing. I moderate the show. So allow me to moderate the way I should.
I want to emphasize.
No, because your time. No. Mama 10 minutes. We start time 8:10.
Coffee can more than 10 minutes.
One can more than 10 minutes.
But
no, I'm only drawing attention. So I do time I'll person. Remember time. I do time I'll person be nothing. Me catch the time as well. Only me back home.
You batch away.
Me 2 minutes account.
Yo. Me say wo yo me sika no. Enye judgment debt.
You say wo yo me kwa na person.
Me David say me ba. I want no Ghanaian should ever refer to the wo yo me money as judgment debt again. A Canada debt. A catastrophic project debt.
The fourth time I'll repeat it.
Or interrupting me, I'm not saying. But one can interrupt me and can move on. But now I can move on. So interrupting me. So because you're judge and you're court and order says canon. Yes, court and order says canon. And say Ghana for be and tisasem na say. Into enemy explain your trouble. Say what you Mexicano. Apart from so only contract no. A Canada debt.
This is about the 5th time.
You're interrupting me.
I'm becoming repetitive.
Also interrupting me. I'm not saying the kebium. It's with the munyami na me nkwa kaba na me move on. Now, you just can not debt we. Now, and for person can say judgment debt. And judgment debt. Now, moving on to or say I saw a crown e bimo e you so nyankopon din wrong. I know the me hu pa me nyanu mu NDC. E ba ya na sunge hini. Oya sunge hini onyankopon izin na said di we den ma presenter Mills inti sai futu no on fan to NDC for say you can't go and give Prince of Peace the everlasting father to one human being inti sai there now thou shalt not call upon the name of the Lord thy God in vain for the Lord will not hold him guiltless who calleth his name in vain. There were 10 commandments. In the end, this munjai sadie no. De bia na masheda. Especially bi mo amene omo program ba, you know me, I'm a Muslim. Me, I'm a Christian. Now answer na omo be chantro. Omo nyai because nyankopon be sadie no. Now, ye concern na ye ka no. O say na do the government land dey wan fa bi o.
Oh, a minute more.
Oh, me dey me time now remind me ne dey ni na aboa. O say na do. Government land dey. Jopo won ka ho. Na NDC 4 one mo dia wa mayo mo
eno okajo mama so blockade sale of merchant bank nyamo koye ho press conference no
mama catch your merchant bank asem no mo ntiasia
oh a minute to do that.
Yo, thank you. When him say merchant bank the board had approved now approve you know. Now the first round bank in South Africa no omo person omo shares cost rule nti no omo ni Reuters ekoye interview say oh we are the moment at this stage the bank there is been approved. It's MPP go fast away in the can ya pay the Jomama switch him.
No, block you answer na moya.
Oh, Debbie, unblock you.
It was blocked before you did your
press conference.
A fact. A fact.
And your fact be that baby Jomama ne block it there. Unblock she. Me catch him
into Rollins boy.
Rollins say oh approve one cut time. Rollins say one cut time. Aha, in the time no count. Na owie yen so you say 37 land. NDC for den mo the foreign affairs land ye koton ye mo se mo gine back now so mo the 37 land ye mo koton ani de mo gine back me catch NDC ene when MPP comes to power we will take all the 37 land back because mo the obicrat me to commercial price enya ne dan mo se mo be ye we against the court magic now mo the mo koton Canada 37 land Emma Moa, and the movies of a Ghana for Monto Abama.
Medasi.
Now, your bar, Sala, your bed, Eddie Amanesis.
No, just about 10 minutes more to wrap up.
Okay,
Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes. Almost 15 minutes of the time. What they count?
This Sunday, 6 p.m. 6 to 7 p.m. Yeah, the hour some the bebre. Our immune some as na yebisa say obema no necessary. Obeka say yenye wedding kakraka na so oba no say okase yenye wedding kakraka. Eno ni asem an wo say wedding bi e gangan to a. Nti yebisa say awade mu nsem no. Why necessary sa asem no ya na nyame adoma Sunday 6 p.m. pepepe oni our asem in shia so ena nyame adoma this Sunday ye wo tamale ye ko no na nyame adoma next week and tamale ye de Adom TV concert party ye de airbrel na watimi ahwebie Tamale Cultural Center na sajumedi ebeba so Sugar Boys Don Ziggly na afi Jakalolo mi Slim Basta any benefit aka bebre beba ye be sha say 2 p.m. pepepe key Superman sambo for Kiss Condoms just kiss her na afi Indomie na omo ebo am edijumedi ebere
stage no gan
but your Slim Basta na o stage
Stage o hanka be ko bi
and na ka be o ka be to
ya de pa
Kofi but ye moving on na ye hwe two other issues yen kan mum preko ne even was your time was one is NPP press conference and FAs so no other matters arising including your friend is saying Okudjeto Ablakwa Kenya Ponsitu and any other issue episode yen fa mum na
it is important there Yebeka there mia mampeni here in terms of putting his foot down to stop the sale of a banker or minor interest, no, or a commendable. Because this is a party and government that will save a lot more states' facilities. A Greek bank was on course for sale and so on. A buy, you know, they were able to work out things and stop it. A Greek bank says, or maybe more branches. Ghana for mayor no more juma. That is a plus. Senka ye turn here. The foreign interest now, they will not be interested in opening a branch in Sogakope, in Tamale, in the rural areas. As a result of Ghana government having control over it, and they say, President, despite the influence, I've been more influence workers, to say that they support the deal, they support the sale, they support all that, he put his foot down and stopped it, and I think it's commendable. Democracy is about listening to the people. And they say omukra no moye press conference. Inti na president here. If the president is listening to the opposition, then it tells you that you have a leader that is worth supporting. Because abra na ye beton Vodafone. Opposition focus here. Even some members of MPP Kurakasa here. They say we are rabble rousers and making us. They went ahead and did what they want to do. But on this occasion, President listened to the opposition and thought that Omukano is good for the country. He protect state institutions, and he stopped it. We should commend the president for listening to even the opposition. Which I know is not the case though, but then we should commending the president that one kind of opposition for can't mean yet. Ma support nya menkrofo ye na yen tonko na yen chendi wan yenesa. So I believe that Mike should be commending the president this morning for listening to them. That is what I expect from him before we leave here. Talking about Ablakwane suit, we practice democracy. So people choose not to exercise it because sometimes it's a waste of time. Ube court, ube go up and down. By the time our judgment, it's gone just too far. But so choose to exercise that right. It's its own right. But a wake up call to all of us, because if it pains you and it affects you because somebody has said something against you, you need to be careful so that you don't say something about somebody. Also, that is because it's so painful. Me, I've had that experience. I've gone through it, that people will describe you for what you are not, for what you did not do. You suffer it. nansi ebisi wo obi no doing similar this no so na ebusia for ne man mukra with radio no mo do radio and or safari this I say, oh, just this short time you are suffering, you did it, you led a crusade against me, you this very same person. So sometimes when it's not happen to you, no, you don't feel it, but when it happens to you, no, that you really feel it. So I think I wish him well. It's the right decision he has taken. He wants to exercise the right as a citizen. As for MPP and then the press conference about load shedding, no, why? Mokai be about the toy generators. What brought about the issue of toy generators? And yeah, the same doomso no. You see, we need to approach this issue in a way that, in case you even also win power, and koye an albatross around you because of the way you go about it. Look, in front of the gas. The quantities of gas oba omanum is still what? Normal. But akoye there, a only registered to use other fuel no omu use gas putting, and the gas distribution outlets or omanum is not as many as petrol and diesel distribution outlets, and that is being worked on to improve upon gas distribution. But go for the year campaign issue as if it's the responsibility of government to go and open gas distribution stations across the country. So MPP ba power omumbambe gas distribution stations. It's still in the hands of the private persons who will go and take the gas and distribute it. So and the issue of outages now is as a result of a gas pipeline project or affecting the supply of gas to some vital power generation plants. That is being dealt with, and we are quite convinced that say we Ghana gas project now we will not even depend on the Nigerian gas again to power the system, and all these problems will be a thing of the past. With the addition of we projects, it will help. Rebecca, will you maybe?
Yanko,
5 minutes. No, or 5 minutes, or 4.5 minutes. Time.
Okay,
4.5
minutes, and 5 minutes.
Oh, we have 4. You tell me your time.
Ebium. Say, Kofi Adams between a better. I can say MPP when they sold Vodafone, they didn't listen to opposition.
But the opposition spoke against. We spoke against.
What are we talking about? Vodafone, when him say, what they don't tell people is that the government has 30% profit in it. Government of Ghana has 30% in Vodafone.
Still.
Now, Bisane say, or no, the former boss era, and now omutumi ton state assets 300.
Those non-viable, the non-viable ones. Non-viable ones.
We are talking about. We are talking about 400 million.
Ghana Telecom was
viable,
and it has prospects.
Well, if
Ghana
it has
Airways prospects, viable, it had prospects.
If they owe,
you sold viable.
No. Now, are they? Muton ya ton so can recall my president Yere at that time.
President
did you listen to opposition?
No, President Yere and Ton.
Now how it
President Yere
31st December.
31st. And 31st December one man.
Why?
President.
President Yere.
And we a chairman.
It's President Yere. Okay, it's President Yere organization. Oh, Kaba.
But you know better. You are a lawyer. You know this better.
But you are doing politics. President, you know, the Yere organization. You know
very well that on energy.
Come on,
Kofi Manuye.
Oh,
no, you're a lawyer.
Don't bring yourself. And because MPP did this, MPP didn't listen to the share. Yeah, can't asema I want merchant bank. Don't start going back to Vodafone because I also go back.
Commend the president now.
Which president? John Mahama. On doing what? On stopping something that after I was exposed. And I make no intimate don't go there. Me na make come and say, "What can we do? Me edi." It's what the home ban. Na me so me wow. Into what you found home man. Just bojidi.
But are you not happy? Say even though muna mu raise here na was stop sale no. Enya de say what can be ma.
Uncle stop. Hwe. And can say me beba no. Ono this old Johnny chance and election no lose no November ya. By this time they go be lose no December. Now I say my simple.
We have a minute more. Wow, so time.
Yo, doom so. You see the gas outlet. When the environment is good for private business, and private businessmen so best set up the gas installation. Gas and kerosene, a byproduct of TOR. Add international tea. Catch a officer because TOR is not working. TOR no, omeguno, omaseno, a pasca,
no,
but
TOR recovery levy.
But Mike, when you say your friend saying originally TOR, you no supply gas, they ma VRA. West Africa
supply.
Gas Pipeline.
They don't supply gas to
never.
VRA.
But all domestic consumption.
They think, I'm not talking about originally anyway. They say TOR na enye juma no, and also can and a problem never.
TOR recovery levy.
If you know about TOR recovery levy.
TOR recovery levy. Mudi.
Well, say ne dey everyone go power. And they go fear that's why one. The courts now wash no. And come see some go be relax. But Ghana for the mainland on this one. Ghana for no me nya kwan.
Me pacho. Time unya ya. Just a minute.
NDC me pamucho. Mamumfa energy and propaganda. Say siano, yen time no was doom so because na akoso mwari. Modi there's doom so because want me manage energy.
Yes, yeah. Deputy Greater Accra Secretary, Edema New Patriotic Party, lawyer Michael Kwe Jr. L1 Panier, and I don't pay. Nasa Shunko Koma Kofi Adams, but we tuning in on Asampa 94.7 FM as we extend the debate and pay in your time be brave and fine. We are your time be brave now, ya to accommodate. So I don't pay the Nkomowe at the Suha. Concert party we about 28th of this month. Na Sunday so our some social 7 p.m. or Adom TV na fi no ho amane born so no 6 to 7 our some no atimi ato aso. Sire kwakwa so will come Saturday nyame adoma 6:30 sharp on Adom TV. Make a date with us. Me sorry na me nko isan se me wonkomo oh ha ye de beto aso e de ama na fi bobe se 9 o'clock e de jumedi no ofan we aban wi ansa na abrefo atena se from 9 to 10 year the official so at also. Nti me ba